Welcome back to the Voice of Investing. I'm your host, Accent 2K2, and today we got a good one. We're going to be discussing using the Orderprint indicator that I found on Tradingview, and we're also going to be discussing Bitcoin, the Dixie, Monero. Anyways, let's get started. All right, so to start it off, first, let's take a look at the Dixie. If you look here, I had painted two targets here a while back on Twitter, and my first target got hit. It looks like we've already traded past that. The second target, if you look at it, it looks like it's been hit, but technically the second target hasn't been hit if you zoom in on it. If you zoom in, we can see that the wick got close but didn't necessarily hit the target. But if you're a fan of using the Ichimoku cloud, you can tell that the Chikou span has actually crossed between price and Tinkinson and Kijun, and it looks like it's headed in a bullish momentum. Now we do have the TK, the Tinkinson is flat, and so is the Kijun. So we could be in for a little bit of sideways or consolidation, but overall, looking at the cloud, how it was, big red and then it's narrowing down, and this is on the daily chart, I would say that it looks like the Dixie still has more room to go to the upside. Okay, so that's looking at the Dixie on the daily chart. It looks like we can actually go a lot higher. And when we say how much higher, I would expect this target to get hit, depending on how crazy this can get. I mean, we could be heading all the way back up to 112 zone. Now that sounds like a bit much, but hey, I'm just looking at the chart, and like I said, I see things heading in the bullish direction. Will it hit 112? I don't know, but at least the second target, like I said, we should be at that 104.72 or $104.72, somewhere around there. But okay, moving on. That's enough about the Dixie. Let's take a look. Actually, you know what? Let's take a look at the Dixie, where we can see the hourly chart. You can see it looks like Dixie is taking off. Going back to the 4-hour chart, it looks like it wants to turn bearish as far as the cross, but the cloud is still green. This cloud, this is the one we're looking at on the daily, looks bullish to me, and on the weekly also looks bullish, could turn bearish, but as far as I'm seeing right now, we're still in a bullish trend for Dixie. Okay, moving right on, let's take a look at Monero. And this is going to be a good segue into looking at the Orderprint charts once we take a look at Monero and Bitcoin. Actually, let's do that first. All right, so if you look here, I like to use this chart just to kind of get an idea of what's going on. But if you look here, looking at Monero, let's start off on the daily time frame. Okay, looking at Monero on the daily time frame, you can see the cloud is red, but it's also small, which means that trend is not strong. This cloud previously was a big green cloud, which was thick, which shows that the trend is more of a strong trend. So if you really look at it, it looks like Monero is still in a bullish trend. Now we've done some consolidating right here, and it looks like we're just kind of consolidating and ready to head up. It took off big time, as you can tell back here from, this is back from November of 2022. And it's just been kind of steady heading up, and then we've kind of sold off on January 30th, and it's just been down since then and turned back up on February 9th, and it looks like it's still in a little bit of sideways consolidation here, but heading upwards. So that's Monero, Tether. Let's look at the Monero dominance chart. If you look at the Monero dominance chart, it looks like the Kijun and the Tinkinson is kind of flattened out. To me, it looks like more consolidation, but I can easily see this thing heading back up as far as the Monero dominance. Now, one thing that's been kind of holding the Monero dominance back is Bitcoin has been on an absolute tear recently. If we look at the Monero and Bitcoin chart here, it's still signaling that we have more down to go as far as the Monero and Bitcoin chart. Now, the cloud itself, if you look on this edge right here, is a little on the flat side, which could show that we could start heading back up. And you can see that if you look at the Chicago span, it looks like it wants to form a W. And if we form that W, that could be a sign that we could head back to the upwards motion. So we could head at least to, I would say, like 7,000 sats, 7,000, 7,100, even possibly to trade up to 72, 7,300. And it would be nice if we can get all the way back up here, maybe to like 8,900 sats, right? But baby steps. Okay. So with that being said, let's take a look at, you can see kind of the same thing is going on with Monero and Ethereum. But let's look at Bitcoin and see what's going on for it on the daily chart. If you take a look at Bitcoin on the daily chart here, you can see that it looks like the Kijun and the Tinkinson have flattened out. That acts as like a big magnet, like a revert to the mean. So I would expect Bitcoin to actually, even though we've made, new local highs, like and revisited and hit as high as 25,262, I can see this thing coming back down to about the 2,300 low 23,000 level. Kind of back where this price was. This should act as support, as you can see, because we consolidated for quite a while right here. I can easily see this come back down here for support. So you could be looking at easily 23,000, high 23,000 as far as to the low 23,000s. I can easily see it come back there. Now that's on and this is on the daily time frame. That would be on a nice little pullback. I mean, worst case scenario, you're coming all the way back down here to like high 20,000. Looking right here, maybe low 20,000. But honestly, because of all of this, I'm gonna think that this is gonna act as support. Let's see. So I would easily say at least 23,000, maybe on a nice pullback. But if you look right now, Bitcoin's trading at 25,000, a little over that. Okay, CME. Let's take a look at Bitcoin on the CME. We still have that gap that hasn't been filled. None of those targets have been hit. We did get this pullback right here, which looked like it was going to head that way, but it did not. And it looked like it just kind of went down and was a quick fake out and headed straight up violently back up. And you can see the green cloud looks nice and thick and strong, and it looks like it's only growing like a big megaphone. So as of right now on the daily chart, as far as on the CME, it does look like Bitcoin is looking very bullish. Bitcoin dominance, let's talk about that. As you can see, we also had a TK cross on the Bitcoin dominance, which means that the Bitcoin dominance should start to climb higher. You can also see the cloud is still trading to the upside. Nice thick cloud, which means that this trend is strong. All right, so the total crypto market cap, and this is excluding Bitcoin and excluding Ethereum. Again, the trend looks very strong looking at this cloud. Chical is above price, above the Tinkinson and the Kijun, but you also still have a flat Kijun and a flat Tinkinson, which means that we could come back down to this 375 billion as far as from this. So it does look like we can also come down. I would expect that to come down if Bitcoin comes down, as like a revert to the mean. All right. So we covered that. One more. Let's throw in ES here, and let's take a look at the ES on the daily time frame here. So this is of the S&P 500. I think I should be able to hide drawings. Let's see. Oh, there's a shortcut for this. Okay, there we go. That would have did it. All right. So taking a look here at the ES, it looks like it's trading down. We got a nice M here in the Chicago span. That was kind of this right here, and another M, and it's starting to trade downwards. Where we could see some support, I'm thinking on the edge of this cloud, possibly right here where you see the key June previously was flat. So I'm looking for support at possibly around 4,000. All the way could be like 39.84. I'm at least looking at that. We could, sometimes I see where it does the TK cross, and sometimes it'll come back to that. That would be like 39.66. So we could see a trade back down to 39.66 as well. That's just kind of what I'm looking at as far as the ES. Okay. And I don't want to spend a lot of time going over charts today, because I really want to dive in to looking at these order prints and just to show you guys kind of how that works. So let's take a look. We will use, for the order prints, I'm actually going to go back to Monero and the tether pair, and I'm going to use a lower time frame, like the 15-minute, just to kind of give you a feel for that. Let me see if I have it on here. Yes, I do. So again, like I said before on my YouTube shorts, this is from Kioseff Trading. This is the volume delta, shows volume delta, open interest. It's an indicator, pretty nice. You can look at some of the settings here, some of the inputs. So you can like have your data be the volume delta, it can be volume, it can be open interest delta. And this is just like a brief little amount of the settings. You can always take a look and change everything out. I have it here. And let's take a look, because a lot of people have asked, how do I use this? So let me show you. And actually what I'm going to do for the purposes of this is I'm actually going to take away the cloud. I'm going to take away volume and take away the volume profile, just to kind of make the chart more clean to show you. So usually for this, I zoom way in, right? Zoom in, make it to where you can really see what's going on. Now I know there's other platforms that also have this, but I'm just going to show you just to give you an idea of what's going on. So if you look at the Monero tether pair, as you can see, oh, I also have fractals on, but as you can see, it looks like right now, if you look right here, we had a negative order print here. We actually had a negative order print here with that nasty wick down. When you see that everything was positive, like this reversal where things were coming negative here, you see negative price there. You see this right here where it turned green and it was positive. So buyers were stepping in, and you can see it just traded up. Got some negative prints here, negative print there, still traded up. You know, you can still pay attention to the candles here, but then you get this nasty print here. As soon as I start seeing negative prints, I pay attention, especially in relation to looking at the amount of volume compared to the previous. So if you look here, if you look at the Monero tether perpetual pair on OKX, it looks like you're looking at negative 1,070. So what I would do is I would watch this candle and then look at the next. You know, in order for the purposes of this video, we're gonna even go lower just so we can see the difference faster as far as the prints. Okay, so you look here, as you can see, this number, this negative number, is bigger than this negative number, right? So, but you can also see the candle. It looks like things were selling off, but things are starting to pick back up. So I look at all of that. Another thing that I look for is these right here, where you can see like the price of blue. Sometimes that's I believe that's the imbalance. And sometimes that can signal if we're gonna have a change. So if you see, if you look at this is a lot faster time frame, 5 minute. I mean, we can keep going down just to see if we can get this thing to show us some differences. Okay, you see here we had this fractal, things were kind of trading up. We got a negative print. We had this blue like imbalance. Even though this print was still higher than this negative print and it looked bullish, this little imbalance here, and then we had a trade down, big nasty negative, but we're also trading positively back up. And this is super short term time frame. We're at 3 minutes, the 3 minute chart. And you see we're kind of reversing. So maybe it's a little harder to see on a shorter time frame. You know, for me, I would use this thing and go up, you know, so we can see what it looks like on a longer time frame. Personally, one of the mistakes I think that a lot of traders do is they trade on lower time frames, or they try to gauge price on a lower time frame, and usually the signal is not going to be as strong when you're looking on a lower time frame. But if you pull this up to an hour, as you can see, it's still printing negative. So although prices had a nice rise up, you started seeing negative order prints. Things kind of started trading down, a little bit of positive, negative, a little bit of positive, and it's just been negative prints. We've just been trading down. Here, look at this fractal. Things bounced up, traded up, positive prints, but then this is still a negative print here. But again, this candle is trading up some, so this could easily turn from negative to positive. You kind of got to watch it. Another thing that I like to look at is this right here when it calculates stuff, because what I notice, and I'm not the best on this, but what I've noticed is sometimes if you pay attention to where there was a lot of negative and then where there's a lot of green, that it looks to me like that's kind of telling you the story, what happened around here. So if there was a lot of negative here, then there could have been a lot of shorts there, right? So, you know, when you get back up to here, people may short it again, and price may fall back down around that area. It just kind of shows you what was going on if there was some positive. So this looks like this could have been buyers right there. So just kind of lets you know what's going on, gives you an idea. That's how I use it when I use this indicator. Again, me personally, I used this for a little while, and I was using it to trade Forex, and I was using it to trade futures. In crypto, I tried using it trading perps, and it's pretty effective on that as well. But for me, my go-to normally, you can try out the order prints. It's a great alternative if you want to use it on Tradingview versus, you know, paying a subscription on another platform. And there's lots of different options and ways to tweak it. Like I said, I really want to give credit to this gentleman right here, Kioseff. I hope I'm not slaughtering your name, Kioseff Trading. He made a great indicator. You can actually go in there and change the way that things look. You can make this thing have like a classic look, which maybe that's neater for you, you know, with the order prints, where you can see the candles like this, and it has the order prints right there. I mean, I know a lot of people are paying to use other trading services that offers this, but you can actually see all of that here in Tradingview. You don't have to worry about going to somewhere else to get this indicator. Anyways, I hope that was helpful. Let me get back off of this and change it back to how I was using it, because I don't use the classic. But like I said, honestly, for me, my favorite go-to is going to be using the Ichimoku Cloud. I mean, that's just me. I mean, there's plenty of strategies out there. You know, some people like to trade Bollinger Bands, right? Like, you look for price to wick outside of the Bollinger Band on the upper side to look for shorts. You know, if it's outside on the lower Bollinger Band, you may want to take a long, right, and ride things up. As you can see, boom, right here, price kind of consolidated sideways and ended up falling back down. Right here, we're kind of starting to head back up. I mean, this is another strategy using the Bollinger Bands, but for me personally, sometimes I trade that way, but my go-to is going to be the volume profile, which I don't even have to do that even with the cloud. Like, I could take the volume profile off and use the cloud on a 1 hour time frame and look at the check-out span to kind of tell me where everything was. So like you see, it's bunched up right here. As you can see, price was bunched up right here. I mean, the check-out span is kind of mimicking what's going on with price. I also use the check-out span when I use the cloud to kind of use it like as if I was using the Williams percentage or other things to look for M's and W's. So if you can see this nice M right here, which also is telling you what's going on with price started to fall down. I don't know. I'm just a fan of the cloud. I know people like to use other things, but for me, the cloud gives me the most bang for the buck when it comes to an indicator using the Ichimoku Cloud, because I can kind of see everything that's going on without having to use a ton of indicators, and that works for me. I also use the 200 EMA, and usually if price falls beneath this, I usually try to look for, some people would look for a short depending on how it is with the cloud, but a lot of times if you can scoop up a purchase and buy something when it's underneath here, it usually starts to head back up. But you got to pay attention to which asset you're trading, because it could vary. I mean, if you really want to get good, you want to stalk your asset that you want to trade, and you want to kind of watch price. You don't even have to have indicators on. Just take all the indicators off and just watch the price action for a while if you really want to learn an asset. And then you start adding your indicators and learning how it reacts to different indicators. You can use your fibs. But anyways, we're going into a little bit too many details. That's not what this video was supposed to be about. And I had this set to a lower time frame, which honestly I prefer the one, at least the 1 hour, but I'm just returning my chart like I had it. If you're day trading, you might want to look for something like the 15-minute chart for an entry, and then maybe make your trades based off of what's going on in the 1 hour or the 4 hour or the daily. Anyways, I hope all this was helpful. Please do me a huge favor. If you like my channel and you feel that all of the content that I'm provides gives you great tips, you like the channel, then hit the subscribe button. If you're watching this right now, hit the subscribe button, smash that like button, click the notification bell, and look out for more videos. All right, well, hey, I wish everyone good luck. Crypto's been doing really well, and it's kind of became uncorrelated. It's not tethered so far to Wall Street, at least at this moment. I know sometimes it can bounce back and forth, but it looks like right now, for the moment, we're untethered. So anyways, take care, guys. Stay safe out there.